Okay, so let's give you a case history, an example of why this is so important, and the kind of transformation you can actually experience by implementing some of these methods and ways of thinking. And we have literally dozens of examples we could have come up with, but here's one that really jumped out in my mind because it was so simple. It was one of the earliest ones that I experienced, lean material management successes. And it really stuck with me because it really wasn't that hard. It was like an easy win and pretty significant. So here's the story. This is a California company making blood glucose monitors. The handheld ones that you would have to test your blood sugar. And pretty fast line. I mean, there are a lot of these apparently in use. They were coming off the line. I think a sub 1 minute tack time.
17-second tack time to be precise.
Sorry, yeah. So several per minute, right? Three per minute or so. So a lot of these were coming off the line, and our job was to help them with the flow, line balance, and of course the material presentation was really critical. As you know, with medical products, you have to maintain traceability. You can't mix lots. There were additional challenges to using a traditional Kanban system. So we were able to overcome all that. But one of the things we noticed was that the lines that we were helping design were building to a forecast. So the MRP system, presumably, and sales and marketing comes up with a forecast of need. And then that product was going into a finished goods warehouse. And then from there to various distribution centers and customers. So what we did was we went into the finished goods area, which is not usually where we start on a material management project, but we went to the finished goods area and set up a finished goods Kanban. So in other words, as finished goods, as these glucose blood meters are sold or shipped, then they would be replaced by the line up to a certain level. And the one gotcha is that the line, when they filled this inventory, would have to stop. So this idea of running all the time, running the line all the time, and filling up the warehouse with product was sort of a cultural change for these folks. But here's the bottom line. We went from $8 million in finished goods down to $2 million in finished goods with no impact on customer deliveries or lateness. On-time delivery was not impacted at all. And essentially what that did was that took $6 million, and as soon as it had been shipped, they didn't have to replace it. So that gave this company $6 million in cash, essentially, that was in inventory on the balance sheet, and now it was transferred over to the cash line on the balance sheet. So pretty sweet deal for them. I mean, no negative impact other than they had to maintain that discipline of not overbuilding. So that was a great one, and we were just amazed at how easy it was, frankly, to achieve that.
And Richard made a very interesting comment there that is not a place where most lean practitioners start, and sometimes I believe that's a mistake. And also it's interesting that this is a lesson that we learned early in our careers, and that gave us a chance to implement finished goods Kanban many times over. We've done it with any of our clients that do consumer products that have to build to finished goods. We have implemented finished goods Kanban, and always with great results because it's a really low risk proposition.
Yeah, I mean, you're raising a great point, Gerard. Some of us, I mean, in the ideal lean world, you're not producing to a forecast. You're building to customer orders. For example, Toyota Material Handling in Columbus, Indiana, the place where we've spent some time, they do not build fork trucks and hope someone's going to buy them. They are building to customer order exclusively. And they have about close to a 2-month backlog of orders from which to draw and from which to level the production schedule. But they do not build to speculation, essentially. But if you have a consumer product where you can't really wait until you receive the order or you've lost it, you go into a supermarket to buy a can of soup, you're not going to place your order with Campbell's and then wait a few weeks to get the can of soup. If it's not there, you're going to buy something else, some other brand.
And not even wait a few minutes to get the can of soup.
Yeah.
Or wait at all. If it is not there, you buy somebody else's.
Right, so zero lead time. So in those environments, the supplier, the Campbell Soup, would have to build to some kind of forecast. correct? But finished goods Kanban is a way of regulating that or controlling that as opposed to pushing forecast into a finished goods warehouse. So that was a great example. The blood glucose monitor is a great example of success with that strategy.